You're watching another video recipe by the Bake Like a Pro YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing something really yummy and super easy, and this is my mini chocolate cake. For this recipe we're going to need 3 tablespoons of milk, 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 egg, 4 tablespoons of granulated sugar, and our last ingredient, 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. So those are the ingredients, so let's get started. So today's recipe should be really fast and really easy. We're going to pop our egg into a large bowl. To that, I'm going to add in my milk. Grab a whisk, start whisking that. I'll add in all of my granulated sugar. And then our vegetable oil. And you can use different types of oil. You could use canola oil if you wish, or a mix. You could use a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of vegetable oil, or a little bit of olive oil and canola oil as well. We'll just get all that together. My little bit of salt. And then we're going to whisk in our dry ingredients. So I've got my sieve ready to go. I'm just going to whisk this a little bit more. That looks good. I'm going to grab a sieve, get my cocoa powder in there, my all-purpose flour, and our baking powder. Get that all in. I'll grab the back of a spoon and just push all of that through. And there we have it. And then we're going to simply just mix all of this together. And this here is going to make one cake, one very small cake. And I do have my oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I get a question a lot about preheating your oven. How long should I preheat it? On your oven you should have a little beeper that goes off. So what you'll do is when you're making this, just before you start mixing your ingredients, you want to turn your oven on, set it to 350, and then let it run. And it should beep when it comes to that temperature. If you don't have that kind of oven, get your oven going and wait about 15 minutes. That will give it ample time for it to get up to that temperature. So this here, really simple, and believe it or not, this is already done and we are ready to fill our tin. We're ready to fill our pan, but just before we do, I'll just talk about this a little bit. This here is a 4-inch in diameter springform pan, and I have sprayed it with some grease and then just sprinkled all-purpose flour in here and just tapped it around. So that is ready to fill. And the other dimension, in case you're wondering, this is 1 3/4 inches high. So 4 inches in diameter by 1 3/4 inches high. We'll grab our batter and just get it right in there. And I do have my oven set to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to pop this into my oven for 25 minutes. Okay, so this was in my oven for exactly 25 minutes at my 350 degrees. This is extremely hot right now, so we're just going to let this cool, and then we'll come back and we're going to unmold it. My cake has been cooling for about a half an hour. About 10 minutes after it started cooling, I just opened the little ring here just to expose air inside. If you don't do that, then what will happen is sometimes you'll get a little bit of condensation and the cake will be a little bit on the wet side. So you can just open it up and that will let a little bit of the air get inside. And then I'll just remove the ring, and there is our really nice cake. And then to remove the bottom, just grab a knife. We'll just get that right underneath and it just pops right off just like that. For the next part of our video, I'm going to cover this with a nice buttered chocolate ganache. First thing that we're going to do, we're going to cut off the top to level it. So we'll grab our cake. I have a serrated knife here, which means it has little blades on it, or little teeth, which act like a saw. I'll just turn this over, and I'm just going to eyeball this, and then I'll just cut off the top. Just like that. We're ready for our next step. I have a little pizza tray under here, and some parchment paper to catch our chocolate ganache drippings. So I've just taken the cake and I've just turned it upside down because this side is very, very flat. So this was the bottom. I have some nice chocolate ganache here, and this here is a recipe that contains butter as well. I do have a link for that. I'll put that in the description box underneath this video if you want to see how this was made. And I'm just going to take this, and this is warm right now. It flows a lot better when it's warm. And then I'm just going to start pouring this on. And just get that all the way around. And just try to look all the way around and make sure that it's getting down pretty well all over the sides. If you miss any, just add a little bit more. And just direct it over in that area and let gravity do the rest. I'm going to look around on the other side just to make sure everything's done. And that looks good. Just like that. You can give it a little tap if you wish, just to settle it. And that's perfect. And now I'm going to pop that into my fridge, and then we'll come back. So I'm going to leave that in the fridge about 20 minutes. I just want to let that set up, and then we'll come back later and we'll cut into it and I'll show you the final product. So here's our cake. It's nicely chilled now. I'll just remove the pizza tray. I've got a plate here. I'm going to transfer our nice cake onto the plate. That's nice. And there we have it. So I guess we'll cut into it next. Very, very nice. Just get underneath there. Hopefully there's a good break. And there we have it. Let me just clean this up a little bit. I'll turn this around. And then we'll zoom in. So for the last part of my video, I just zoomed in quite a bit just to show you our cake really close up. So here we have our nice chocolate cake interior and that really nice buttered chocolate ganache on the top. And I know I'm going to get this question, so I will answer it. Yes, we could have cut the cake in half and poured this chocolate ganache in the middle as well. You could do that as well. But it's such a small cake, I thought I didn't really need it. But you could do that as well. So we've come to that time again, the end of another video. As you can see, this was a really, really simple recipe to make. I hope you try it at home. Simple recipe, really, really yummy and moist chocolate cake. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you wish. I really do appreciate that. That's it, and I'll see you next time. Watch this. Look at how moist that is. Oh, that's really good.